the third round of the World Cup has been completed, and we are now done with the group stage and have moved on to the round of 32, which has started today. Canada and South Africa have already played. When I'm recording this one, Canada won. But I will do this round 3 video just like I did with the first 2 rounds. But this is also the last round that I will be able to make a video from, because I am going on vacation before round of 32 finishes, and I will be on vacation up until like the quarterfinals is done, I actually think. So there's a lot of things I will be missing, and I don't think I will be able to make videos because I'm on vacation, and I will have my laptop with me, but I don't think I will have proper mic and stuff in the laptop to actually record. So this will most likely be my last video. Therefore, I have thought, let's do it a bit different. Instead of going through every single one, we are only gonna go through the biggest upsets or biggest shockers, and then we're gonna look at my original prediction, and then we're gonna look at what I think is gonna happen with how the bracket system actually panned out. So yes, enough talking, let's just go through it. So the first like shocker of the last round was definitely the fact that South Africa beat Korea. You can see here my prediction was 4-0 for Korea, and South Africa actually ended up beating South Korea 1-0, which meant South Africa went on to the next stage while they faced Canada, and South Korea actually shockingly went out. So that was a huge upset, and I think South Korea played extremely bad. South Africa was lucky to make it out of the group because they have also played horrible in the group, but they managed to get their points, so they qualified. Next up, we had Ecuador versus Germany, and I don't think many people saw Ecuador beating Germany because like Ecuador is not a bad team, but Ecuador has not played very well in the group stage, and Germany has been playing solid. So as you can see, I predicted 3-1, but it actually ended up being a 2-1 for Ecuador, which means Ecuador came in second place. I'm pretty sure. I can't remember fully the results, but Ecuador came in second place, or at least qualified for the next round. The next shocker I think there is was Senegal beating Iraq 5-0. I will say it's a pretty huge shocker, and that also means that they will qualify for next round because of goal difference, because they have 3 points. They lost to France, they lost to Norway, but they ended up qualifying with 3 points because of goal difference after beating them 5-0. So that is pretty insane. The next one is for some people maybe a big shocker, for some maybe not, but Norway losing 1-4 to France, that is a pretty huge loss. But I mean, after we saw the lineups for Norway, I don't think it's that big a surprise. They put a lot of their star players on the bench, like Haaland, Ødegaard, all the other players, I can't remember their names, but they put a lot of the star players on the bench. So I think when we saw the lineup, I don't think it was that big of a shocker that they lost it this big. But yeah, I think more people would have thought Norway would have put up a bigger fight. They did. The next shocker is not so much because of the match. I think everybody predicted Spain to win, but it was a close game. Spain beating Uruguay 1-0. But the shocker is that Uruguay ended up falling out of the group and out of the World Cup with only 2 points and actually losing the group. I'm pretty sure they lost the group. Maybe they beat Saudi Arabia, but it doesn't matter. They are not through the group, which is a huge surprise, which leads us on to the next match, which is Cape Verde versus Saudi Arabia. Cape Verde managed to draw 3 games in a row and actually making it out of the group ahead of Uruguay and Saudi Arabia, which is insane. Like, such respect for Cape Verde, and I hope they will go far, but they will not because their next opponent is Argentina, so they will, with 99.99999% go home. But just the fact that they made it out of the group, I think it's so incredible. So huge shout out to Cape Verde. And also the fact, like, one thing is the first shocker of the tournament, Spain was not in the right state. They probably underestimated them, and Cape Verde ended up drawing with them. But then again, the week after, they drew with Uruguay, and then they drew with Saudi Arabia, who beat Argentina last World Cup and beat Uruguay this World Cup. So pretty decent. Like, that's very good. That's actually really insane. Next up is these 2 matches combined, because I think after the second round, everybody believed Egypt would take the group, but somehow Egypt and Iran drew, and Belgium managed to finally do something good at this World Cup. They have been playing very badly the first 2 rounds, but they managed to beat New Zealand 5-1 and therefore ended up winning the group. which is insane. I predicted Belgium to win the group, but I thought that was no way it was going to happen because of the way they have been playing, and Egypt was in front. But they managed by goal difference to actually get it done in the last round because they beat New Zealand with 4 goals. So good job. I don't think there are any more shockers. Congo making it out of the groups. Congratulations to them. I think that's incredible. And I guess Portugal not winning the group is a bit of a surprise. Colombia is in no way a bad team, but they got off to a slow start, and Portugal was favorites in the group, but a 0-0 draw in the last round makes Colombia first place and Portugal second place, which makes Portugal's road to final pretty hard, if I remember correctly. So that is a bit of a surprise. So this was my original match prediction or tournament prediction. If you haven't seen the video where I go through everything and talk about it, then make sure to go watch the video. It's up here. It's on my channel. Go watch it. I think it was a good video. But let's just quickly go through and not talk too much in depth, but like see the surprises. So Group A here, I predict Mexico to winning the group, and correct. I was a bit scared after the first round because Mexico did not look that solid against South Africa, and I think South Korea looked incredible in the first match against Czechia. But then for some reason, South Africa they started to get points, and South Korea became worse and worse for every round. So in the end, South Africa came second, and both South Korea and Czech Republic are out. So I only got 1 point correct here. Next up was the second group. Got the last three and fourth correct. I don't know why I said Canada would win this group, because in every other prediction I've done, I said Switzerland would win the group, and that also ended up happening. So I have no idea why I did this when I have done it the other way around every other time, but the other way around happened. So yeah, didn't get it correct here. This group ended up like I think most would have said. This group, I think, is a shocker for a lot of people because Turkey completely disappointed everybody once again and came fourth in the group, whereas the 3 other teams actually qualified. So first and third I got correct, but somehow Australia came in second. I do also think I said that this group could, in my video, I think I said that this group could end in a lot of different ways. So I was kind of right. Group E, Ecuador played worse than people expected, I think. So these two switching around makes sense. I do also think I said this could every possible way. So I was also kind of right there. Over here again, I think I said the exact same thing actually, that these were close groups. So this could also end up in every single way. But Netherlands did win the group. I was a bit scared that Japan would take it because I think Japan played really well. But they started to look a bit slow and bad in the last match versus Sweden. So yeah, I don't know. I think Japan should have done better than what they did. This group ended up happening exactly like I predicted. This group over here, Group H, was a complete mess because of Uruguay's extremely shitty performance. So good job, Cape Verde, but my prediction was completely garbage. Group I think, ended up like most people would have predicted. Some people maybe have switched Senegal and Norway around, but I think it's what most predicted. Group J, I think also what most people would predict. Group K, though, ended up with a different winner because of Portugal's bad start and bad finish. And Group L ended up exactly like as well. So moving on to the knockout stage, there are a lot of things that can't happen. So my prediction was original that Argentina and Spain was going to be in the final, and that can still happen. But there are some of the matches that are different. For example, let's see here. Korea is not in the World Cup, which means they are, but not in the knockout stage, which means Switzerland now has a different opponent, and I think it's Colombia actually. No, I think it's Algeria who they are gonna play. So I think Switzerland now has a better chance of making it through than against South. Who else? Czech Republic definitely didn't make it through, so Belgium will now have a different opponent, and I can't remember who it is, but that is also gonna change the fact that the United States is now gonna have a different opponent. Let's see. Scotland did not make it through, which means Mexico will now have a different opponent, and Uruguay is not gonna hasn't making it through, so they will not. Argentina will have a different opponent. Turkey did not make it through, which means Egypt will have a different opponent. And I also predicted Turkey to win, so Argentina will have a different opponent in the next match. Iran did not make it through, which means Canada had a different opponent. And since they also came second and not first, they are on the other side of the bracket now, so that changes up a lot of things as well. But of course, they won their first match today against South Africa, so they are now on to round of 16. And Portugal did not win their group either. So this whole thing, like this whole scenario down here with Portugal, Argentina in the quarterfinal cannot happen because Portugal came second. So they are now up here instead, somewhere running around. So that changes everything as well. And now the only way Portugal and Argentina, Messi Ronaldo, can meet is in the final. So let's take a look at the bracket with proper brackets and see what I have predicted here. So first up is Germany versus Paraguay. I have predicted Germany to win. Next up, France versus Sweden. I have predicted France to win. Canada versus South Africa, which was the first game today. I predicted Canada to win, and I got it correct. Next up, Netherlands, Morocco. I think this and Portugal, Croatia are probably the two closest games that will be in this first knockout round. But I have predicted Netherlands to finish first because I think Morocco looked solid, but they also looked kinda boring in their attack in some of the where Netherlands, I think they have really scaled up during the tournament. They looked a bit slow, bit boring, bit bad in the first match, but second and third match they looked better, cleaner, stronger, solid. So I think Netherlands will take this one. Where with my original prediction, I predicted an early exit for Netherlands. Next up, Portugal, Croatia. I have predicted Portugal to beat Croatia, and this is where the bracket system has changed because before Portugal was on the other side of the bracket, but now they go up against Croatia, and this is what a lot of Portuguese fans have been crying about, and Ronaldo fans have been crying about, the fact that Portugal will have a way tougher road to the final than Argentina, and that's their own fault because they came second and not first. So yeah, I have predicted Portugal to beat Croatia though, because I think Croatia have been looking very bad in the group stage, and I do know Croatia is more solid when it comes to knockout stages than group stages, and they are usually building up slowly throughout the competition, but I do still think Portugal will get it done. Spain, Austria, I think it's going to be a very tough match for Spain, but as we saw with Argentina versus Austria, Austria is solid and are giving the opponent a hard match, but in the end, quality beats Austria, which was what happened with Messi, and I think Spain has the better quality players and therefore beat them. United States versus Bosnia. This is where there will be a bit of a difference because of some exits, so these matches will be different, but I have said that United States beats Bosnia, and I have predicted that Belgium will beat Senegal. And this is where before I said that Belgium would have made an early shocker exit versus Czech Republic, but they are out. Now they will play Senegal. And I think with what I've seen from Senegal, and what Belgium has done here at the end, I think Belgium will beat Senegal. Brazil versus Japan. I think Japan has looked very solid and could put up a good fight, but Brazil have looked solid, especially Cunha and Vinicius have been looking very, very solid. So I think Brazil win this pretty easily, but maybe Japan can put up a fight. Norway, Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast had looked pretty solid, especially defensively, but I just think Norway right now is on a tear, and I think they will get through pretty convincingly, like 3-0, 3-1 or something. Mexico, Ecuador. I think this will also be a very interesting match. Mexico has looked pretty solid, except the first match. And Ecuador has been looking a little bit sloppy, so who knows what's going to happen, but I have predicted Mexico to win. England, Congo, I think this will be a pretty easy match for England, but maybe Congo can make an upset. They drew with Portugal, so why not? But I think England make it through. Probably the most easy match of the first round, Argentina versus Cape Verde. I mean, of course, Cape Verde drew with both Uruguay and Spain, so who says it can happen? But I think Argentina will make it, get it done pretty easily. And then we have the next match, and this is where I have predicted an upset. I have said Australia will beat Egypt. I don't think Egypt have looked very solid. They drew, and they won. And that was the first win ever, I think, in a World Cup. So it's not like Egypt is a strong side in a World Cup. And I think Australia has been looking very solid, like defensively. So I think this could happen. So I have said Australia to go through against Egypt. Some people might call it an upset. I think it's very realistic. Switzerland, Algeria. I don't think Algeria has looked very solid, despite they have some pretty decent players. I think they have looked pretty bad, and I think Switzerland has not looked very good either, but more solid than Algeria, so I think they will get through. And then Colombia, Ghana. I think Colombia will get through pretty easily. Next up, we have France, Germany. Germany has been looking a bit rocky. They had a solid start versus Curacao in the first match, and then after that, they just looked slow, boring, I think, and not very solid, whereas France have just been steamrolling through the group. So I predicted France to win. Netherlands, Canada. I think this is where the dream stops for Canada, and they will get knocked out by Netherlands, who has slowly been ramping up throughout the competition. Spain, Portugal. This I think could be a very interesting match because Portugal has not looked very solid, but Spain has not looked very solid either. Besides their match against Saudi Arabia, the rest of the matches in group stage have not been looking very well for Portugal. For Spain. And also there has been some rumors circling around that both of Spain's left wingers, Williams and the other guy, are injured, so they are missing players. So I think this could be a very interesting match, but I think Spain will get it done. United States versus Belgium. I think United States can get it. This would probably also be an upset, and the first like real test for United States besides Turkey. But I think they will get it done. Belgium has been looking very bad in the first two matches, kind of picked it up in the last match, but that was against New Zealand, who were supposedly the worst team in the group. So I think United States can make the upset and go for Brazil, Norway. I think this is where the fairy tale for Norway ends. Brazil has been looking solid, so I think they will get it done pretty easily, kind of like France did. And then England, Mexico. I think England should just win this. Mexico has been looking pretty solid. England has been looking a bit sloppy in the last two games, but I still think we should be eliminated here, and England should get it done. Argentina, Australia. This is a repeat of 2022 round of 16 actually, where Australia did put up a good fight, and I think it ended 2-1 to Argentina, and I think Argentina will get it done again this time. Switzerland, Colombia. I think this could be a very interesting match, and I think this could go both ways, but I have said Switzerland will make it. Quarterfinals. France versus Netherlands. I think this is where the fairy tale stops for Netherlands, and France will just steamroll them. I think this will be a pretty easily 3-0 for France. Spain, United States. I think this is where it stops for the States, and Spain will get it done. Brazil, England. Very, very interesting. Very, very good match. I think this is where the fairy tale stops for England because, like I said, they have been looking a bit sloppy, and I think Brazil has just been looking better, and I think they will progressively get better and better for every game. Also, Neymar is back on the pitch. He will slowly get more game time and get back into it and stuff like that. So I just think Brazil will beat them. Argentina, Switzerland. I think it's gonna be an intense, close match, just like Argentina, Australia. And Argentina, Austria in the group stage, but I think Argentina will get it done in the end. Semifinals, France versus Spain. I am a bit worried that Spain will not make it all the way here. And when you saw my original prediction, I predicted Spain to be in the final, but now I don't think Spain will be in the final because I think they have been very sloppy, and I think France has performed way better than I predicted. I predicted France will have a huge disappointing World Cup, but they have been looking very solid. So I think France will beat Spain, as much as it pains my heart because I am rooting for Spain and Argentina. I think France will get it done. On the other side, we have a South American derby. We have Argentina versus Brazil. This will be an amazing semifinal, but I think Argentina will make it done and get it done. This might be a bit of an upset because I think Brazil has been looking more solid than Argentina. I think Argentina so far until last match have been kind of carried by Messi, and I am a bit worried about them. But what we saw against Jordan, which is also a bit unfair match to criticize about because Jordan, they should win that. But Messi wasn't starting and the other players did do something, and then Messi came on, still did something. But like I'm a bit scared Argentina will be carried too much by Messi, whereas Brazil has been looking more solid all around. But my heart says Argentina, and therefore I go Argentina. So we have a 2026 World Cup final repeat of the 2022 World Cup final. France versus Argentina, and I do if I just take all bias away, I do think France will get it done this time. Argentina looks worse, France looks stronger, and I just don't think Argentina will manage to beat them in a final twice in a row. But my heart has said Argentina, and therefore I have gone for Argentina to win this time around. So that is my thoughts on round 3 and my new bracket prediction after we actually have the full bracket. So let me know down below if there's anything you think would be different, any upsets you think was gonna happen. What do you think of the results in the group stages? Are there any like big surprises other than Cape Verde, of course? So yeah, let me know in the comments, and then this will most likely be my last World Cup video because I am home for semifinals and finals, but I don't see a reason to make any video about it. Maybe I can do it before the final and look through the bracket of how it panned out, But yeah, I don't think I'm that. So this will most likely be my last World Cup video, and then I'll go back to what I usually do on the channel and do reaction videos. So I hope you enjoyed this World Cup trip, and yeah, always make sure to comment, like, subscribe, all of the usual YouTube stuff. It does help the channel out a lot more than you actually think it does. So yeah, please do that to support me, and then we'll just see you all next time. Peace out.